Professor Liu is going to teach you chapter 6, the concept. Uh, Chapter 6 is about function. We learn a lot of material about function, those tools about function from chapter 1. So right now we just going to pick out the parts we did not introduce you from chapter 1. So let's do it. So first part we're going to talk about is what is a local and global variable. A local variable, you don't need to explain it. Whatever the variable you are using from the chapter 1 to chapter 6 and 7, everything inside that main is local variable. Okay, but why we need global variable? A global variable is a variable you will define it outside the function, So this will be accessible to all function and within a scope. And there are several reasons for that. Easy way to share large amount of data between scope of global variable is from the point of definition, and use carefully. Okay, we tell you why. Okay, so now why we need to do that? Because once you use global variable, it's difficulty to debug. um, the function cannot easily be reused, and so programs that are hard to understand. All right, but we're going to see what is global variable. A local variable defined inside the function, okay, inside the main, that's local variable or any function. And global variable is outside function, outside, but accessible to all any function. We're going to talk about global variable provide easy way. Okay, so let's take a look right now. So all right, so first of all, I am going to talk about pro, 616. So this program show a global variable visible to all function appear in a program after the variable definition. So let's take a look here right now. So I'm going to have my Visual Studio on right here. Then I'm going to take C16 to here. Is that okay? All right. So notice right here, I have main. This is my main. Then I have my function. My function called another function. Okay. So line 6 is prototype. Line 6 is prototype. Now the variable, the integer num, is not inside integer main. Instead of is outside here. That's called global variable. So if you want to define a global variable, the global variable should be outside here. That's a global variable. Okay. We told you that later is harder, so we will show you. Now here, I have num equal 2. So the main num equal 2 here, and another one here is 50, but now change it to 2. Let me show you this right now. So I build it, and we'll explain to this for you right away, and why we don't recommend you do it all the time. All right, so let's take a look here right now. Take a look here. So the num is 2. The num is 2. We know that. The reason is what? It's a global variable. It's 2. Okay. Now once you going to another one here, now change to 50. And back to main is 50 right now. So that means once it's a global variable, remember there's a part we want you to do careful is once it change in another function, the value is changed forever. Okay, so it was 2 here globally, another function changed it, now the value is changed. So you want to do it with very, very careful. Okay, now can anybody tell me now? Okay, I have 2 questions. All right, I have 2 questions. Question number 1, when you define a global variable, listen, global variable, where are you going to put, this variable, declare this variable? For global variable, where are you going to put this global variable? Where are you going to do? Outside. Outside means, God, thank you. You are good kids. Very, very smart. Okay. There's a one, we can say that shortcoming, one problem right there. One problem. We want to remember right here, I told you, you need to use carefully. You need to use carefully. Remember, you use very carefully. The reason, and you already see that. All right. What's the problem right here? The man was two. What happened is that a very important thing we need to know is a key word for something. All right. Then once it's global variable, so it's once it is a global variable, so the security level is super low. Do you understand? Security level is super low. That means everyone can access this global variable and everyone has opportunity to change it. So that security level is so low right now. You know why? Because here I have 2 and I say 2, but another function change it. Now it's 50 now. Now it's 50 now. So the problem for global variable is low security. Everyone can access, so we can change it. So let me ask you the second question right now. Global variable seems easy. We define outside and every function can access it. What is the problem for you use global variable? It can be changed easily. That's right. Thank you very much. Okay? So that's security level is too low. All right? So let's continue right now. All right, so we're going to move on. Say, okay. So global variable. Right here, the global variable can be changed and also make a program difficulty to debug. All right, and can somebody change, we cannot reuse. Is that right? So there are five questions here. Local variable is defined inside. Global variable is defined outside. Global variable provide easy way to share large amount data. Unless you explicit initialize numerical global variable, it's 0. If a function has a local variable with the same name with as a global variable, only the local variable can be seen by the function. So we talk about 16. We're going to talk about what is a global constant. A global constant is a constant. Is a named constant. Can be used by every function. It is a kind of a little bit more useful than global variable. The reason is the value is unchanged anyway, but nobody can change it. Do you understand? It's a const. Nobody can change const, right? But then everybody have a opportunity to access. So it is safer. So once you use a global constant, it's just safer than your global variable. Let me show you right now. Let me show you, okay? So I am going to go 18. Is that okay? So I'm going to and explain that, and you will see the 18. So boys and girls, 18 is a global const. You also need to define global const outside the main. Same rule, outside the main. But now is a const. So another function cannot modify this. Because remember, the rule for const is you cannot modify this. So you cannot modify it. It has to be 22.55. Then it has to be 40. It has to be 1.5. And look, How many function we have? We have main function, and we have get base, and we have get overtime. We have 3 units right here, main. But whenever you are using base rate, whenever you are using pay rate, so here, whenever you use the pay rate here, okay, whenever you use base hour, can anybody tell me what's a base hour right now? What's a base hour? Let me make it smaller. All right, so I have and 40 hours. What's a pay rate? What's a pay rate? What's a pay rate? That's right. So it works the same at the get base at this function. It also works the same at this function. All right. So this way, it is outside. Everybody can access it, but nobody can change it. All right. Let me run it with you right now. So I build it. Then I start without debugging. Now, how many hours did you work? Let me put 35. Okay. So you calculate. All right. So far, okay to you? Now, I am going to close solution here, and I'm going to open the project. All right. So, your project for rock, paper, scissors 2, I have a const here. Const. So, instead of, we always need to remember 1 is rock, paper is 2, scissors is 3, and I'm going to define here. So once I define line number 4 here, rock, paper, scissors, these 3 variables are global variable or global const. Let me see who can remember that. Line number 4, take a look, line number 4 here. I have a rock, paper, scissors. These are global variable or global const. That's right, it's global const. How do you know it's a global const? Because you see the keyword. Who can see the keyword? Const. How do you, why we say it's global? It's const. Why we call it global? Why we call global const? Because it's outside the main. Thank you, Aaron. Thank you. So if you want to be a const outside the main, then it's called global const. All right. And what's the advantage for that? Nobody can change it here. And also, all the function, look at how many function I have. 1, 2, 3, 4. Every single function, I can use rock. I can use rock, paper, and scissors. I can use it. All right, so here rock, I use this. And I only need to redefine. And nobody can change it. And it's more secure. It's much more secure. Do you understand that right now? Yes or no? Okay, so I'm going to close solution here, and I'm coming back to my this right now. All right, so one more time right here, I have a question here. Okay, so pay rate, base hour, and OT, these overtime, these 3. We call these 3 global variable or global const. That's right. Line 7, 8, 9, they are called global const. It is better than global variable. Instead, now we call this global const. Global means it's outside the main. Everybody can access. Const means you see the const. Don't forget, and a const variable, conventionally, you're going to declare it with all uppercase. Remember? And if there are two words together, you underscore. There's no camel style because when everybody's uppercase, how do you do camel style? Is that right? Everybody understand this right now? So let's continue. So we talk about global variable. We talk about global const. I'm sure you understand these, and we talked about that last semester. We just want to kind of review, highlight these so we can continue to do class and object. So the third type is called static local variable. So what happened is this. So what happened is, remember we have global variable here. Global variable, everybody can access this. What's the advantage for that? What's the disadvantage for that? Ooh, low security. People can change it. So we have to look for something. Now we are programmers, so we look for something. Something called static local variable. Static local variable. So we're not going to put outside the main. Once you outside the main, it's called global. So no. We're not going to put it outside the main. We're going to put inside one function. It's called, but for when you use static local variable, and this static variable is only used inside that function. Not everybody share. Understand? Not everybody share. So you only exit when the function, when you only put inside that function. And you want to define this inside that function. All right. So these are different. Local variable only exits the function executed. You have to redefine it. You lost their contents. Static variable, the value can be kept. So you are defined initialized only the first time the function is executed. The value can be retained, and this is called static local variable. So static local variable is a variable. You understand? It's not. It acts like a global variable. It acts like a global variable, but global variable has a low security. Low security. Everybody can change it. Static variable has higher security because only in that function, only that function can be changed. But the disadvantage for static local variable is only that function can use it. Nobody else. But in that function, the value can be retained. So if you are in a game, write a game program, you need to accumulate the points, how many zombie you killed, how many strawberry you pick up. This has to be static local variable. And you probably write in the point function when you calculate points. You understand? So static local variable is called local. Okay, remember, variable cannot retain value. Variable cannot retain. Once you gone, the variable is gone. But you want a value be kept, especially when you write game program. You need to remember how much, how many points you get it, how many zombie you kill, this and that. You need to accumulate. But then you don't want to put in outside because global variable is dangerous, right? So we use static local variable. But remember, static local variable is wonderful, but only used in that function. You cannot share with among others. Let's take a look, okay? Let's take a look, okay? So I am going to do 21 with you. So 21, okay? So gentlemen and ladies, I have for integer count equals 0, count less than 5, and show static. Okay, all right. So right here, number of call here is inside the function. So it's a local variable. But I have a static here. That means static local variable. So this function being called, all right. So one more time. when this is static, when this is local variable, okay, so it will be 0. The next time you call still 0 because it's a local variable. But here the show static, and that means you're going to call the show static. Let me ask a question, see who can remember. Right here I have for loop, for. So I'm going to, so can anybody tell me that the program, the main program, will call show static function how many times? How many times? 5 times. 5 times. All right. So now, and the inside the show static has a variable called numCall. Okay, there's a variable called numCall right here. You saw that. It's 0. So if this is not static, when you call these, show these. When you print it out, it will be 0. Then you call one more time, it will be 0. But I want the number retained among these 5. So the first time I call is 0, the 1, then 2. I need it accumulated. And it has to be static. Let me show you right now. Okay? So build it. So gentlemen, ladies, let's take a look. Let's take a look here. Let's take a look here. If I don't put static, here, your answer here, the function has been called, this will be 0 times 0, 0, 0. Because once you out of here, let me show you right now. So I'm going to temporarily take out this static. Okay, I'm going to temporarily take out this static right now. Okay, and I run it right now. So I rebuild it. And I'm going to start without debugging. So it's 1 time. 1. That's it. It's only one. It doesn't accumulate. Can you tell me why? Then because it's 0 and I plus 1, that's 1 right now. So once I leave, that's the first time I call these, I got 1. The second time I call these, the value will be reset to 0 and plus 1. The third time I call these, the value will be reset to 0 and increment by 1. So it's 1, 1, 1 for 5 times. That's not useful. Sometimes useful is I wanted to remember how many times. So can anybody, smart kids, help me right now? I need to remember. So in front of integer, I need to put a keyword. Can anybody help me? What keyword? Yeah, that's right. All right, so it's called static local variable. Understand that right now? And it's very, very useful. It's very, very useful. Okay, so I'm going to remove, and I need to continue right now. Okay, so we talk about static local variable, and we also want to talk about, sometime when we pass, argument to your function, and we give some value already first. It's called default argument. So value passed automatically if arguments are missing from the function must be a constant declare. Okay, it has to be constant declare in the prototype header. Okay, so these are the example here, but pay attention here. Okay, pay attention here. This is, we also need to remember little tiny a little bit thing. Okay, it will be an exam. If not all parameter have default value, so some don't have default value, some has default value. All right, the rule is The ones don't have default value has to declare first. Alright, has to declare first. That's a rule. So how about this one? How about this one? Is this okay? Does this one has default value? Yes or no? Does the first one here have default value? This one has default value? No, no. This one doesn't have default value. So you have to write first. What's the default value for this one? 0. What's the default value for this one? 0. Alright, so not everyone has default value. If the variable don't have default value, need to place first. Alright, and also when an argument is omitted from a function call, all argument after it must also be omitted. Alright, so we are going to do this here. Okay, so get some num1, num2, but you cannot say num1 and and I'm going to omit number 2. You cannot do that. Alright, so I'm going to show you number 2. This program demonstrates the use of default function. Alright, so let's do it right away, right now. I need to get rid of these. I need to get my 22 over there. Alright, so right here, so remember, once you have a default function, has to be on the portal type to tell you right now. So can you tell me that what's the default value for starts per row? How many start per row? How many? 10. How many number of row? 1. That means if the user, so here, look here, display starts. Okay, line number 10, line number 10. Oh, boys and girls. Then line number 10, I don't give any value inside. So no argument inside. So if I don't have argument inside, means how many row I have and how many star in each row. Anybody tell me? Line number 10. How many rows I should have? That's right, 1 row. Each row has 10 stars. Okay, come right here. The second right here. The second one here. I put a 5 here. Now remember right here that we have a star per row 5. Alright, 5 here. Alright, so and the other one I did not write it. Means I'm going to take which one as default. I'm going to take what? Which one is default? So remember, line number 10, I don't provide any value. If I don't provide any value, then number of row is 1. In each row has to have 10 stars. Line number 12. I provide partial of them. I provide, in each row I'm going to put 5 stars. But I did not provide how many row I needed. That means I take a default. So how many row I need to use it for line number 12? 1 row. How about number 14? How many row right now? Number 14, how many row? Now there's no default. You take users. So 3 row, each row has 7 stars. Do you understand? Alright, so take a look. The first one, can you tell me how many row again? Because I don't give anything. How many row again? 1 row. Each row has how many stars? Gregory, 10 stars. How about this one? How many rows? One row. Each row has how many stars? 5 stars. How about this one? How about this one? How many rows? 3 rows. Each row has how many stars? 7. That's rounded right now. Okay, so I build it. And I start without debugging. See? One row. Each row has 10 stars. Second one is what? One row. Each row has what? 5 stars. And this one is 3 rows. Each one has 7 stars. Does that match? Is that right? This one is one row. Each row has 10 stars. The second one is one row. Then each row has 5 stars. And this one is 3 rows. Each row has 7 stars. Do you understand it? Yes or no? Alright. So when you want to use default, then you just don't give, value, and you'll take default value. And when we say you want to skip, for example, this one you want to skip 1, all right, then you want to skip 1 here, and you need to take the default one. So far, okay? Do you understand? Yes or no? Do you understand default value? It's very useful, okay? So let's remove it, and let's continue to do next one, okay? We talk about default value. Now we're going to talk about use a reference variable as parameter. We use for this part I explain heavily. Once you use ampersand, that's reference variable. Okay, so let's do 24 right now. It's okay. So 24, we are going to we're going to this program use 2 functions. Okay, remember when you are going to use reference, has to be void function, and ampersand we call reference, right? Then so it will be in the main and in the function. The value actually have one address. Okay, let's take a look 24 right now. Okay. All right, so right here I have a function called getNum. Then integer here, I'll get the getNum right here. Let me get num. Okay, user num here. So you enter number, user num. So right here I need to ask somebody from last semester. Did you remember this? Okay, so when getNum value and getNum user num here. Okay, all right, so value and user num, actually these 2 variables use the same memory location. So value has an address, user num don't have address. Value's address is passing to user num. So whenever you get here, enter number, you put 10 here, it will be 10 here. It will be 10 here. All right. So then you double num here. Now, one more time here. All right. So let me clear this. Sorry. So there are 2 here, so pay attention here. The line number 7 is passed by reference. Line number 8 is passed by value. Passed by value and passed by reference. Okay, let me run it with you right now. So I build it. And I start without debugging. Alright, so let me put 5 here. Okay, the value double is 10. Alright, so here 5 is get from here. enter a number. Look, enter a number and enter number 5. So once I get 5 here, the value 5 here, I get number value, and the value 5 here, you get a 5 here, that's a 5, I got it here. Gentlemen, ladies, hold on, let me show you. Hold on, I need to close this so I can let you see. Just a minute, okay? Okay, hold on. Let me just close that. So, oh, Jesus. All right, I want to close this, okay? So that way you can see right here. All right, gentlemen, ladies, right here. And what's my function called? Let me hold on. All right, so let me show you this right now, okay? Please, okay. So here, get num. So when I get num here, I enter value is 5. Here I got 5 here. I got 5 here, okay? So here I enter 5 because I enter 5. So I got 5 here. 5 here. So right here I got 5 here. I got 5 here and 5 will go to here. Do you understand? Here 5 is here. That's why it's 10 now. So you want it. That means your main function and your getNum function share this memory location. Whatever you get from the getNum, main get it too. Main get it too. This is called what? Pass by reference. But you can pass by value, the value, and you coming back. And pass by value is what we learn all the time. And pass by reference is sometimes you need to use it. All right. So I'm going to clear off and this and close this. Do you understand this or not? We kind of talk about that heavily last semester, and no matter which professor you take it, I'm sure the professor will pound on this heavily because this is important concept we do all the time. All right, so let's continue right now. We are going to learn passing file because we didn't learn that yet. Pass a file. So when we pass a file, you actually want to pass by reference. You understand? You don't want. How do you pass entire file? You understand? That's huge. So you have to pass a file by reference. So this program reads a set of daily high temperature from a file and display them, but you're going to pass a file to that, okay? So let's do this right now, okay? And so we have a file called weather.dat, weather.dat, and you need to memorize the algorithm, how you open the file and how to pass a file, okay? So let's do this right now. I'm going to do as 26, is that right? 26, but 26 go with a file called weather. I'm going to get weather here too. All right, everybody. So I come here right now, and let me make this to 200%. So right here, I want to read a file. Okay, it's from input file string. Now it has to be. This is from now on memorized. You want to read a file, has to be reference. No other way. Okay. Other, you can read by, read a file has to be a reference. All right. So, and here right now, when you want to read a file, you have to do input string, input file string, data in. And number one, you need to open. So memorize with me together. Is that okay? Memorize with me. So now you have to open. Rule number one, open it. So open, and the file name has to be exactly you type inside the quotation. Start fail means I cannot open. If I don't insert this here, it will say error opening. Okay, else I refile. When I refile here, and I'm going to read that input file called data in. Then once you finish, you need to close. Open, close. Is that right? Open, close. And let's take a look right here. Let's take a look here. And when you read it, so input file, we're going to remember is going to use a reference, some file. So while some file. So, all right. So do you remember your cin? Okay. Remember your cin? All right. So please enter data. Then you do cin and num. That's how you do before. Remember? That's how you do before. Now instead of cin, you do some file. So it doesn't go to your console, doesn't go to your keyboard. The temperature go to the file. The temperature goes to file. You read in right there. All right, you read in right there. So that's C right now. It's okay. That's C right now. So let me clear all. Then so reading, and you're going to, and once you're reading, then you see out. You see out. You displayed it. So let me run it with you right now. So by the way, the weather has this 70 blah blah blah. Okay, that's a weather. So you have this weather, nice weather, huh? Probably springtime, whatever. Now you build it and start without debugging. So I cannot open this. Let me see why. Do I make a mistake here? Hold on. I am going to put into the source. Let me double check, okay? Maybe into the, okay, just a minute. So build it. I run it already. Why it doesn't work? Oh, okay. Here I have to make sure it goes to here too. Okay. So let me double check here. Just a minute. Okay. I have to come in by here. Here. Just a minute. Okay. Let me copy this. Control C. They have to be exactly the same folder. Okay. Copy. Then I'm coming to my C drive. All right. I'm going to my C drive, and I'm going to source. Where's my source? Where's my source and repo? User. Go to user first, and go to my drive. Okay. Then I need to go to my source, and I go to repo. All right. Remember this file is called chapter 6 class demo. All right. Chapter 6 class demo. Chapter 6 classwork demo. Okay, so I have to go to chapter 6 classwork demo. Hold on, let me find it. Let me look for the day, is easier. And find the day is that's 2021. Which one is 2021? Hold on. Oh, right here. Okay, yeah. Let me go to click on the Solution Explorer right here, and right click on the folder. Then I'm going to go to my property here. Hold on. And this property change, all right. So anyway, the file has to be right there. So let me look for my file. Let me look for where I put it. Okay, just a minute. All right, you saw that? You saw that? You saw my thing on top, chapter 6 right here. All right, solution. Okay, right here, right? And property. Let me see that. And where's that go? Let me see my path. Do you see the path right here? Okay, previous step right here. Hold on. Alright, better see my project right here. Alright, open the folder explorer. Alright, open the folder explorer. Right click it. Hold on. Explore already right there. And already. Hold on. Let me look for my directory. Okay. Let me see right here. Just a minute. All right, in the list. Kenneth, can you tell me, right? I'm very confused. Yeah, I need to look for that. Okay. Huh? Right, this one, right? Uh-huh. Okay. So it's right here. Yeah, I need to pen. Okay. All right, so the file has to be here, otherwise it doesn't work. Okay, so right here, right click, and I already copied. So now that's work right now. So build it. Now I rebuild it. Okay. All right, and let's start without debugging. Okay, so it's right there right now. Okay, so now the weather here, you can add a little bit more weather here. Let me see. Let me put like 8. Let me put 100. Okay, 105, something like that. All right, so I kind of did something else. Then I coming back here and I rebuild it. And start without debugging. All right, I need to save too. I need to go back to save. I did not save it. Okay, so I'm coming back here and I need to save. All right, so I'm coming back right here and I build it, rebuild it. Then I start without debugging. Anyway, I have to re-input it. Okay, so now this is the part I have re-input it again. Save it one more time. So this part is do a file and it's super useful in advanced class because we really don't want to read one by one, and a lot of file we a lot of thing we yeah Yeah, Perry, that's right. It's my source repo, but somewhere I have too many. Okay, if I have only three, I can find it. I probably have 300. Okay, sorry. All right. So thank you, Perry. We're going to talk about the last one. It's called overloading function. All right. So overloading function is this. Other function really cannot have the same name. Not allowed. But it will be allowed you to have the same name, exactly the same name, but a different parameter. Different parameter. For example, here, get dimension, exactly the same name. Look here, this one. Get dimension, get dimension, get dimension, same name. But this one take one parameter, one. This one take two, this one take three, this one take, sorry, one. This one take one take two, both integer. This one take one integer, one float, this one take two doubles. And this is okay. This is okay. And this is probably the super most important thing you need to learn in the advanced class, because you have to take care of the user. So user may want to be as flexible as possible. I want one variable, that's fine. I want one integer. What happens next time I want to double? You don't want to make it so strict. Say I only take integer. Then once you enter the double, your program will have syntax error, and you don't want to do that. You want to be as flex as possible, as flexible as possible. Means once you're program, you take everybody. Okay, you take you can give me this, you can give me that, you can, one size fits all. Remember, one size fits all. That's what you try to do. You want to be one size fits all, overload it. Okay, so I am going to remove this guy, remove that guy. Then I'm going to take the last one there. Hold on, I need to go back to my classwork, okay? Hold on. It's right here. All right, I'm going to take the last one here. All right, so right here, I'm going to overload a square. All right, square, you want to get a square, okay, square number. I can take integer, I can take a double. I want to be as flexible as possible. You understand? So if you don't do both, and if you only give an integer, you cannot do double. All right, you get syntax error. But this, I'm going to be one size fits all. You give me anything I do is fine. So build it and debug. Start without debugging. So enter integer and a floating number. So I put a 5 and I put a 6.5. All right. So here their square 25 and 42.25. You understand this right now? So this is the most important concept you need to get it before you get in the class, because a class is you create a tool, you create a template, and that template has as flex as possible. You have to allow everybody to use it. That's why we overload it. And some function need to retain the value. You write game programming, you need static. All right. So this is your all concept for the part we did not teach you yet. The part we did not teach you yet, we probably, yes, we did. We just need to refresh. Okay. So overload function is only because they have different parameter list. Okay, they have exactly the same name, parameter lists are different. That's called overloading. All right, I hope you understand this. These are not new concept we taught you already, but I just need you to refresh this memory. I hope you like this video.